Hello, guys, how's it going? The meaning in life is to say that life itself is enough. Someone's life is enough. One person's lifetime should be more than enough for him or her to experience everything they ever wanted to experience. And so, I have a question for you. When was the last time that you were was genuinely wondering this question? What is everything I'm supposed to do here? Why was I born? I think this is a typical question that someone with not necessarily common sense, but a person that is searching for an identity and wants his or her life to mean something is eventually going to start with that, is eventually going to get there. And so the thing is that when we were young babies and we were start thinking about everything else beyond that, basically we already had a role that you're going to live, you're going to exist, and we, the parents, are giving you that name and that last name. And you're going to live for some years, 3, 4 years, or 5. And then your education is going to exist, is going to also come into your life. You're going to start being educated. You're going to be by this name, and you're going to end up with having a license in engineer, let's say. And so you start school, junior high school. And if anything goes well, you get to go to another school like college or university. And then after that, life begins by doing what? By doing what? Just working on a job. And that, for the most part, is what people seem to be at the same level. But the difference is that that doesn't have to be the definition of what life should be. You're being born, you get educated, you get a job, and then that's it. You're supposed to provide for that person or for the people around you or for the world by doing your own efforts in this world. All this for what? Most people want to live their lives. And for the most part, this means doing the things that I always wanted to do, that I could not imagine my life without those things. And also try and travel and meet new people that fulfill my life. And those things seems to be a lot more distant than we give them credit for. Because basically for something to come into our life, you have to try on a certain degree. Well, some of those things can be granted. For example, many people can be around you and to support you for a lifetime, like your family, your friends that you were growing up with at your high school or junior high school, if you were lucky enough. And I don't think we spent enough of our time and effort to genuinely try to answer questions such as, okay, what is my absolute greatest contribution to this beautiful world? Or to put it another way, how I'm going to stay alive the most. In what way? How I'm going to experience life to say that, you know what, it was enough. I know that one day is going to end regardless. But at least I want to know that my life was exactly how I wanted it to be on some level. Because life, of course, is not going to happen exactly the way that we wish. That's the mystery part about life. But anyways, the thing is that we seem to think only in our heads what we wish we could be. And we wish for better opportunities. When the best thing that you can do is just think. Spend some time on this. Don't go out on some weekends. And probably you're going to need some months too. Spend time on yourself. Probably write for yourself. And read those things again, I suggest. And basically, generally, while you're thinking, what's the point in this beautiful show? Also take more and more feedbacks from other amazing philosophers and critical thinkers that ever existed in this beautiful world, because they also have infinite wisdom when it comes to this modern, superficial, technological world. Because all we know today is just how to work and make profit. when we're supposed to be alive. And that seems to be the last thing we are trying to achieve. For example, if you want to live an outstanding life and probably be present, that's the key. That's the key word there, present. Living the moment for every moment that you are alive and that is presents itself to you, is being able to live it, to experience it. And you cannot do that if you're constantly, distracted, constantly unhealthy, and have many more other issues to deal with after the ones that you're right now dealing with. And so it's very logical for people to feel lost, exhausted, tired, and in a way that's not necessarily flattering, because everyone's going to be lost at some point in their lives and try to find out the next best thing. But when you're almost permanently lost, constantly lost and tired, because you just don't want to do the work that you're supposed to do, and you just want to relax and have some time alone and some time of peace. And the thing is that when you're constantly distracted and when you want your peace from the distraction that we called either the world or your job or whatever, all the things that we are doing for us just to survive, or doing our daily thing, our daily routine, then yes, how you're supposed to think for yourself. Well, here's the kicker. I think that you own to yourself if you really want to have at least some decent attempts to find out who you really want and what you really want. Because at any moment, if you manage to find those things, probably everything else becomes either irrelevant or much more easier. And the thing is that, sorry about that, those can be immensely strong and powerful filters for you to live an much easier, much graceful life, much more meaningful life, or present, or healthy. And so I want to say that if someone does not get to the point of he or she can say to themselves, I've lived my life, now if anything can just get destroyed, get ruined, if anything may as well, I lost everything. If I happen to lose everything, they can back this up by just saying to themselves, well, eventually that was a possibility because life is full of surprises, but at least I lived my life. I have nothing to do anymore. Or at least I should say, I've done the most important things I ever wanted to do. So now life may as well take its course and decide to do whatever it wants. But it's not going to take my experience and love for this life because I lived. You cannot break me, really. You cannot really break me because I have my own experiences, my own people, my own love for this world. And no matter how much cruelty, how much no mercy may as well exist in the world, I took the experiences of a person that is satisfied with their life. And I believe that this is a mindset for the ultimate winner. Basically, whatever happens, I'm good. Thank you so much, but I'm good. Yes. And I believe that this is something that we should be strongly pursuing in a way. Because of course our time here is limited. And it seems like we are getting not only more distracted, but we are also supposed to be more productive and looking for the next best thing, when we're just missing the entire point. The entire point is living now. If we do not have access to now, what are we doing? Or for an eventual now, I'm going to work now because I must and I have to, and then I may as well do my own thing. How is someone is going to enjoy their life when all there is just a work for me to just survive and pay damn bills, and then some time for me to relax from that damn work that I hate to do and the people that I don't necessarily like to interact with? It's just this constant thing, And some days from the year, you may as well do someplace else. You have 365 days per year, and you are supposed to, you probably have only close to 20 to 25 days off. The rest is, there are some more days between, let's say, Christmas and Easter and all those stuff. Okay, there are some days off, and some individuals from here and there. Yeah, all the other days, except weekends, you're supposed to work. How is that not exhausting? How people are supposed to enjoy their lives? How is people are supposed to, okay, but this was a bit heavy, but there are some people that may as well enjoy their life, but all the time, if they're forced to do that, if we're talking about a person that doesn't like their job and doesn't like necessarily the people there, and is extremely in a tiring situation, that all he or she wants to do is just relax and just be home because I don't care about anybody else or anything else, maybe I should say. And so the thing is that we have almost infinite amount of information. To do them what? If the fundamental core of our species is just to reproduce, we don't seem to be doing that a lot these days. And besides that, there may as well some people that do not necessarily want to engage with any of that stuff, with any kind of relationships or any type of family stuff. And they just want to do the activities they want to do for themselves. Well, this is pretty much the archetype of person that I'm talking about. A person that just wants to stay by himself or herself. How can they basically find more meaning? Because there's more to life than just responsibilities and bills to pay. And that is the sad thing. We're supposed to make technology and science and basically all of the laws of nature work into our own will in a way, so we can understand it, and basically use all those things to our advantage for us to have a more convenient and easy life, not a harder life. And what's annoying is that seems to be the new normal. And if you do not seem to be very productive, you're useless. What are you doing? You're just sitting around. You're just chilling. You're just having a good time and not producing anything. You're not productive. I'm sorry. And you're a useless bummer. Why do you exist? Why do that? And so I think we missed the point. The point of life is to just live. And the thing is that we take life for granted, in my opinion. And if we take life for granted and we believe that we're constantly safe from that things are going to stay always the same, we're going to eventually live an empty life in a way. When we are supposed to hunt down things and basically search for ourselves in the things or the activities or the people that has typically nothing to do with us. And yet we can find tremendous meaning into just doing the things that we're supposed to do or we are obligated to do. And yet the thing is that you can also put some meaning into these activities. And what I have to say is that life is not just obligation. And life can reveal itself through the hardest of times. At the same time, it's just a pity to just see people, especially younger people, to just give up in life, to basically rot in their so-called mother's basement and not basically have any chance, not a sense of hope. And I'm making this video to just say there are more to obligations, there are more to bills, there are just more to other things. Your presence is the number one thing that you should be considering into protecting. Basically, an exercise that you can always do is just meditation. If you learn to just basically, for a moment, to just see with your eyes, listen with your ears, feel your sensations, your touch, then your taste, and then your sense of smell, and then all those things together, and I have some time to relax and reflect, perhaps. It's just an incredible tool for me. And I think that people need more self-reflection. Not because I believe there's something wrong with people in general, but I believe that there is not much time available in general. Because people are always busy these days. And probably more worried and anxious and stressed than ever. What the next day is going to produce, who knows what. And the thing is that we're doing this all for the survival, or the production, or for the human benefits, so-called, when we're supposed to live. That was the point of everything. Just live. Let's do our lives. And so I'm doing this video to basically suggest let's just contribute together and basically offer some of our precious little time to our consciousness into potentially finding much more potentially beautiful ways to live, and not just working for people who do not care about you, or just buying things you don't really necessarily care about yourself and all those stuff. Because life is small, and that's just a reminder that live. That should be the most important thing, the most important priority. Because if it's all drag, maybe there's time to reevaluate. Because if there's at least no worth beyond that dragging and that exhausting way of living, why do it in the first place if there's no point? Or maybe I should say, if the juice isn't worth the squeeze, why do it? And that's my point, basically. Trying to find out basically who you want to be, what you want to do, and everything else matters less, because you then became the center. You're the center of your life. Even though you may as well work a job, you're also supposed to be the center of your life. In which case it means that the job also supports you, and it's supposed to serve you in some degree. But anyways, I think I may as well end in my points here. And so I'm going to end this video. I'm going to thank you again so much for your time, and I wish you a wonderful day. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for your time.